Yeah.
right?
Uh, yeah. Just now I was talking about education bubble.
Mm,
Uh, when I say education bubble, it's obviously like something is a bubble when you pay for it, or even if,
mm,
let's say government school is free, but still you are paying a large amount of time for it. Okay,
mm,
because initially you go to government school for free, but in hope for something in return. Of course, it's what you said is learning for skills, knowledge, this kind of thing to make yourself a better individual. So bubble means okay, you pay time or money for it, but you get nothing in return.
yeah.
Uh, that is definitely the current phenomenon. Even I believe during my high school it was like that. Just that uh, currently currently
We
uh,
don't see the alternative, right?
yeah, there's no alternative, so the bubble still subsists, and actually the bubble could still work largely because of something that almost everyone is saying. They always say that all this schooling and universities is to just get an entry ticket so that you get into a corporation. And the first day when you are in a corporation is the first day you learn something. So currently this kind of very inferior model it still works for lots of
Yeah,
people, uh,
yeah.
except for some really minority losers. And when I say minority losers, it's more like I myself I witnessed like because UM right, I stayed my year right, I was assigned to a hostel, the fourth residential college. It has a lot of people from linguistic courses, linguistics, and a lot of very weird social sciences courses. For example, geography. For example, there's a super weird course about Japanese, Eastern Asia, East Asian studies. All this kind of
Mm,
nonsense. So
mm,
all these people they never wanted a course. They just got a very bad result at STPM. So
mm,
as a result, all their first, second, third choices they weren't assigned. They got all these nonsense courses.
yeah.
So few of them eventually managed to graduate with what German language linguistic course. They managed to graduate, but as a result, it's very horrible. Like nowadays, now some of them work as a very uh, weird translator job. Some of them work as a very weird freelancer for to translate things. Some of them just simply work as a admin, those kind of things. A
Mm,
lot of them turn into property agent and insurance agent, which are actually jobs
yeah,
don't have basic salary.
yeah. I also feel like that industry, I don't know whether they really deserve to have that much of commission. Feel like,
You mean property and insurance agents? They have lots of commission.
yeah, they do get a lot of commission if you are able to sell.
No, actually, I disagree. I think they are the worst job because precisely because they don't have basic salary. Basic salary is actually very, very important. It shows that even if you don't do a good job, you still get paid.
Mm, yeah, but just I saw a lot of people just jump into that, and then they just like keep recruiting. Like it seems like this it's not gonna be saturated.
No, no, no. Okay, from what I observe, right, obviously the people jump into it are people who have no choices. My friends, right, who are from applied chemistry, statistics, all the weird courses. I don't see a single engineering or accounting or law, medicine, all those people join.
Mm,
I don't see it at all. So
yeah,
it's more like people who don't have a very mainstream career path. They would actually because they don't have choice. They really want to make a breakthrough rather than taking a lame 1,800 admin job, 2,200 admin job. They are not going to do
yeah,
that. They might as well gamble. Okay, now I go
yeah,
into insurance and property. I might make a successful career
yeah,
there. But actually, it's a big risk because there are always people like let's say 7 months, 8 months, 12 months. You don't sell a single property. You literally have zero income.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's a sort of mini entrepreneurship. You just actually work for your own.
Mm,
Yeah, so I definitely think that all these people, particularly people who got very bad result at STPM, they got assigned to rubbish course, they're actually being ripped off by the education system because the entire thing about all this education system is not so much about teaching you skill. It's about okay, let's say I'm a law degree, you are an engineering degree, all of us, the winners, right? We have a winning ticket. So now we make
Mm,
it into the next stage. And meanwhile, all of you from a linguistic course, you don't have a winning ticket. Okay, so it's
mm,
about ticket. It's not about skills. It's about ticket. We got a ticket, we make it there. Then you guys, the one who didn't get a ticket, you have to go and for property agents, kind of things. So currently, this is the reality of the system. And
mm.
I'm actually very
And,
surprised
and
that
and also that's why people are like criticizing universities like just like so shitty. Like they praise 42 so much, and they say university is just like rubbish as well. Because I think the bar is just too low, just where everyone could just get in. Like it really lose the prestige
okay,
of.
okay, this is a question I actually really want to figure out, but I never really see people discussing. That's why I never get an answer. My question
Mm,
is, what if everyone has a degree? What happens? And apparently it is happening because we can look at the figure. 20 years ago, you didn't have university like Sagi, and
mm,
Utah wasn't that big. So now we have all
mm.
this lower bar university, everyone can go to Sagi, everyone can go to Utah, even if you didn't get into a top uni. So eventually, a lot of people are going to have some business degree, this kind of thing.
So degree
So
is like the minimum requirement for all the employment requirement.
no, that becomes a very interesting phenomenon. Like it's like SPM certificate. The entire thing
Yeah.
inflated. Everyone has a business, everyone has a degree, becomes it is equivalent in value as in 1980, everyone had an SPM degree, SPM certificate. It's just
Yeah.
a very weird phenomenon. That's why I'm very interested. When will this thing be explode and burst? The moment when degree is not that valuable anymore. But it is still not happening. It's still not happening.
No, it's just that now you need to get at least degree, I guess. Like that's the minimum.
Then the entire thing is a fucking Ponzi scheme, because no, do you get it? Okay, let's say if today every single person in society suddenly decided SPM is enough, then you don't have to get a degree. But
Mm,
everyone suddenly decides that a degree is important. You have to get a degree also, so that you can keep up
yep.
with entire inflation. It's a massive inflation. It's not about skill
Mm,
anymore. It's about ticket. You have a higher ticket, I must chase up also. Then the thing just go on forever. Everyone needs to have a better ticket. It's more and more elitist.
I'm not sure. Like perhaps there, I don't know, like if the productivity is better in this time, I think we could absorb that.
You mean the
Like,
productivity of the country as a whole, the economy?
yeah, the whole country. Like, it doesn't have to take everyone's to be really good, I guess. Like, it just takes maybe a small fraction of people, those who got into university and be really good and contribute a lot of like, I don't know, GDP or something like that. Like in some way it can really absorb that like inflated uh costs of wasting the time going into the education, things like that. In some way, you can say university is like generating revenue as well because
No,
they're
actually, you're
paying
right.
for
You're
the.
right. You're right. Because you concern about you concern a lot about education. It's about skill teaching, and if indeed high schools and universities really teach a lot of skills, then you are right. The productivity should be really raising
Yeah.
because that is what skill is for, right? The people, humans
Yeah, the
master a
thing
new
the
field.
concern is that you say it's bubble, but I also think that it doesn't have to take that much of people. Like maybe a lot of people getting into university, but it just probably take a fraction of people to increase the productivity, let's say by 50 times or something like that. And then it's enough to accommodate those people who get into university but do nothing, doesn't learn any skill, wasting the time. But maybe that also help to contribute, to
No, because
global.
just now you said something quite intriguing. You said, like, for example, we go to high school to learn English. After 11 years, we are still speaking and writing broken English. That is obviously not a skill mastery, right?
Yeah,
That is,
exactly.
then how could that translate to actual productivity?
Yeah, that's why my hypothesis is that in that art, maybe a small fraction of people who manage to create enough productivity that could, set up set off the inflated cost of other people who are not really learning anything, or maybe not really contributing much productivity. It
But
could how to set
again,
up that.
but productivity itself, right? I also think I also don't really know what it means. Like for example, one of the most straightforward way to measure productivity is that, for example, let's say Proton.
Mm,
Initially, let's say in 1980, it made a very bad car
mm,
that could accelerate in only that requires 10 seconds to
mm,
accelerate from 10 kilometer per hour to 100. So maybe
yeah,
now we have a lot of great engineers. Suddenly the car improves. It only take 5 seconds to make
yeah,
it accelerate from something like that. So that is something very obvious.
yeah,
Uh, uh, so productivity, one way to measure is definitely the obvious improvement of goods and services.
yeah.
Uh, so I'm definitely very interested in what you say, like those small group of people who are very productive. What do they do?
I
What do
mean,
they do?
part of it's like probably, I don't know, technology, like improvement, the speed of communication, internet. Um, we might not,
Medicine,
mm,
new
yeah,
drugs.
new drugs or maybe food. Like it used to, it used to take like 100 people to like get 1,000 kilogram of the rice. Now it's like just one person with one machine. That is like productivity growth as well.
No. This is something I want to ask. Is that happening? Uh, is that actually happening?
The growth.
Uh, yeah.
I don't know. Like I think yes, of course yes. But yeah, I guess it's just like very vague. I guess at some point if you try to like define it properly.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm always very hopeless. Very bearish on Malaysia. I just think that it's a rubbish country. Like for eternity, it has been like always 10,000 10,000 USD GDP per capita. I just don't know what do people do. Like I really want to escape, but I don't know. I have no idea how. Maybe this is Singapore is a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to Singapore as well if I got a chance.
Okay, Singapore at least is very authoritarian, but at least it has some optimistic story. You have like something like Lazada, Shopee, Grab. I don't know what is this, Garena, all those kind of things.
Yeah. It just get complicated too quickly. I can't even comprehend the whole things like what's going on, like economy, how does it work? No idea.
Call me.
Economy.
Oh, because you are talking about education is kind of related because at the end of the day, right? I think one of the most delusional things that my friends who are teachers, one of the most delusional thing I've ever heard is they always say that teaching and learning should be this entire pure pursuit that should not be corrupted by money or reality, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's not like that. Even government institutions, even government schools operate on uh,
Yeah, the perspective.
a premise of efficiency. At the end of the day,
Mm,
all these schools are free for you, government schools are free for you because you want to train the actual individuals that could make the world better. And all these things really need to be measured by economy. Otherwise, it's just entire thing is just a video game.
mm,
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we need to survive. We need to survive as a nation, as a world.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a
Uh,
most rudimentary view of education. We need to train people so that we can have more fruits, more of this, more of that.
yeah. I mean that at least from national. But again, I just feel like our government just are just like so clueless about what is a good education. Like what they don't even know what they're trying to do. Like just they're just stupid, I guess. I mean, for me, um, Actually, the best way to think about education is just simply ask about what's the whole purpose. Let's say if you try to teach maths or Malay or science, just have to define what's the main goal of it.
No, the entire thing is definitely laden full of propaganda. Like, for example, you must learn Malay, of course, it's because of all this racial issue. Uh, I even
But
always expect,
even just simply saying that you learn Malay just so that you could communicate in Malay, and then you based on that goal, you think about what's the best way to learn languages. And if you look at the textbook, they are not even try to design a learning pathway of achieving that goal. Like, I actually have a linguistic friend, and I asked her, I say, I just told her that I feel like our school is just not providing the most natural way of learning languages, and she actually agreed on that. Like, whatever way we try to learn, right, is not the most natural, the one that really click. Like, you just have a lot of things like to memorize, and then
actually, the
to
scariest truth is that they always say that no one masters his or her native language by reading grammar rules, this kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. So I was suggesting that actually the first thing you need to learn is exposure. Not to learn, but to get yourself exposed. And to get yourself exposed is you have to listen a lot.
Have to what?
You have to listen a lot and you have to watch a lot. So
And
basically,
speak a lot.
you don't have to speak first. Actually, speaking come second. But the first thing that you need to get is the exposure. And and in my entire school, I don't even have heard this kind of, at least the advisors. Like, it is the exposure that matters most, right? You have to listen enough.
No, but how do you have that? Because actually, like for example, English, you have to have an actual exposure to a real native speaker, which is almost not existent in Malaysia.
You don't have that. We have so much cartoon. My suggestion, I think, for
Oh no, actually,
primary
I
school,
tried that. I tried that because I have a year I work in a daycare center. It's all
yeah,
standard 1 to standard 6 SJKC Chinese students. I try
yeah.
to, of course, I taught English. I try to play English cartoon to them. They just felt like they don't understand a single thing. They get demoralized very quickly. Yeah.
I guess
They
if
really,
if they
they
don't
really
if
love
they
the
don't
Chinese cartoon. Yeah.
if they don't try, I don't know. Like, okay, another thing we have to take care is the interest. So how do we make them engage? This is quite challenging actually, because different students have different response to that. Like, to the cartoon. Some student might be interested in this, some student might be interested in other thing.
No, they are just fucking Chinese to the maximum. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also the problem. So, like, that's the
No,
problem.
yeah, like I think the entire we should even question the entire idea. Like, should you even learn three languages? That's actually a very
But I strongly support of learning English no matter what. Like, because just think about this. If you try to learn any subject, right? The resources that is in, let's say, Chinese is a lot less, like a lot.
the Japanese gonna disagree with you. The Japanese.
I don't know, maybe Japanese have a lot of collection, but just think about the benefit of just knowing English is like, it gives you so much benefit. Like, it allows you to
Yeah,
connect with people, just open up another doors of opportunity
exactly.
if you know it. So that's the importance of it. Like, people have to realize that. And that's the reason we are learning English. It's not just, because we want to torture you or something like that.
I often think that Malaysian Chinese, the kids, right, are the victims of the propaganda, endless propaganda. First of all, it's definitely Malay. Secondly, it's definitely a lot of very Chinese-ness. You must master Chinese. At the same time, they want you to also master English because it's a very important, productive language. As a result, you have all these priorities together. You can't prioritize anything.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't learn things. You can't learn things in deep enough in it. They just like
Singapore is really slightly better. They just made English mandatory. And the second language, your mother tongue, whatever you want to learn, you can learn Tamil or Malay or Chinese. I don't care.
yeah. But we Malaysian government, I mean, our Malaysian government just missed the point of doing it. Like, I don't know. You have so diverse group of people, political party, the past Islamic extremists in our country. It's like it's hard to do any shit.
Okay, never mind. That one is like it's a very very complicated thing.
Yeah.
But actually, I want to talk about a small group of people, a fringy group, minority people. They are doing something very fringy. In 42 Cadet, I mentioned there's a guy called Edison a lot. I mentioned him a lot. Edison.
Mm.
So he is entirely homeschooled. He was entirely homeschooled in high school. Then he just went to a random school and registered for ICGSE exam, and then he took it
nice.
and then got a certificate. That's all. So, but what is important is his mother wrote a book about homeschooling,
I see.
trying to educate Malaysian parents why you should homeschool your kids, why government schools are toxic, those kind of things. And then her mother amassed quite a small cult following
I see.
among some Malaysian parents, and as a result, after Edison had a few batch of piscines later, there are a lot of people who actually came because of Edison, because they also bought the book that his mother wrote. So this is a small fringy movement on the side that people are trying to just escape the system and do homeschooling.
Yep.
Yeah, this is another fringy movement.
I mean, it's pretty brave to do that.
Yeah.
Wait, by the way, what's fringy? Sorry, I don't know what's the meaning of it.
Non-mainstream. Yeah.
I see.
Fringe means on the side. Yeah.
I see.
So it shows that actually the system is so broken. Even people are willing to, okay, they don't have power to change the main thing. They are willing to risk and just go to the side door and try some alternatives.
I think it is very courageous to do that. Like given the pressure around people.
Well, you could
and
say that.
you're and for her, she's placing a bet on this, like on her child, right? Because everyone say that you have to go to school, you have to get SPM or something like that, and she just did the opposite.
No, I'm very sure she also stood on the shoulders of some giants. I've not read her book yet because I dislike it. It's because she wrote it in Chinese.
Let's see.
But I believe she was influenced by a few homeschooling pioneer in the US.
Yeah.
Because they started discussing this very early in 1990s. There was a guy called John Holt. He wrote so many books about why you should homeschool your children and why schools are poisons. Yeah. But you're right, because majority why people are still harping a lot on SPM certs is because the TCAT is so important. The TCAT is this canonical, like if you don't have a TCAT, you are just gonna be an outsider, and you are just gonna be out of the system, and you are just gonna be like completely ruined. At least most people believe that you're gonna be a drug addict or whatever. I don't know, slumlord. This is why people are still caring a lot about winning the system, getting the top ticket.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to change. I mean it takes time, I guess. I don't even know. I don't like.
No, but at the end of the day, I think one of the crucial chess piece is actually the employer. The moment there are some smart employers, reasonably okay corporations or companies, not too bad. It doesn't have to be top corporations. The moment some corporations are willing to accept talented people with skills without certificates, then the crowd will follow. And that will kickstart the entire domino effect. People saw that you don't actually need certificate that much, and then schools will lose the power, universities will lose the power, tuition center will
But
lose the power.
but I also think you need to have some like intermediate part to connect this together, like to connect, like I don't know. I just think that probably need some you know intermediate who can guarantee. I mean, even like
You need some
those
certification of
the
skills.
not sure, but not exactly certification skill, but then I think that it has to be a like because I think the problem with companies that they 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 couldn't have trust on those probably have no certificate, like because they have nothing to verify
Yeah, the
the
employers
ability
are
of.
not willing to risk it.
Yeah, so I guess to facilitate there must be an intermediary who can help to sort out this, and the company could have the trust, and then you need have to have this, like, I don't know, agent or something like that that could facilitate the process in order to
No,
like
but at the end
catalyze
of the day,
the
what
change.
employers want are really people that could run make the company more profitable, churning out better products and services. So at the end of the day, they really want like some sort of core skills, right? So I think
Mm,
it's really about a certification of skills. I mean,
mm,
traditionally, the piece of paper is called certificate. Is to certify
yeah,
that you have skills. But of course,
yeah,
we all know how ridiculous the entire thing is. So whether we have other modes of certification, we don't know.
yeah. So I think there's a possibility that we could. I mean, there's this sort of like middle person who can help to verify the like. I mean, I just think from perspective of companies, it's just too risky to hire anyone that this that is not certified, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that you don't want to waste your time just to go through the interview and realize
The,
that
the,
he's not a good fit.
that's why people who want to fix education, a lot of them start with computer science because it's one of the area that can easier to measure.
Mm,
Maybe it's not perfect, but at least it's still possible to like ask you, let's say, I ask you to write a quick solve, probably the process, how do you tackle the problem, probably could show that you actually know something. But other
mm,
area, I don't know, engineering, accounting, or even like business, HR role, I don't know whether you could certify anything.
mm. Yeah, I mean there are some professional course they can take, and some company actually require employee to have those professional certificate in order
No, but
to fulfill the job.
the problem is all those professional course you say, right? At the end of the day, it's just revert to your old model, which is to hack the exam. Yeah, you just
Mm,
revert to the old model. Whenever there's a standardized test, you always have hackers.
I was wondering if they you could have some like, I mean this gets yeah pretty complicated and getting like, I don't know, I was thinking like we have like evaluator or something like that. They could help to evaluate someone's skill, like you can certify
Yeah,
after
you're
you
right.
get
You're right.
evaluated.
But actually, I
But
thought those are the roles of recruiters. They are meant to do that. They are meant to evaluate the skills of people through interviews.
I guess what we can do, let's say from technical side, is like we could provide such system where you get to have evaluator, making assessment of the candidate. We could have this kind of system. I mean, which is not yet existing, but yeah, I mean, the candidate could go through a lot of like assessment, or maybe go through a lot of training. There's a sort of like a track record of them doing those activity. And eventually the company maybe could even have like the AI system to help to send resume, based on the training or the track record they have to the company, and then the company could decide whether they want to hire them, go for an interview. So there is this like secondary system to help to sort of things out. I guess that could be a solution to this kind of like messiness of finding the right candidate for the company.
But actually, LinkedIn is built for that. Like the tagline of LinkedIn is that, oh, we are gonna have this really marvelous intelligent system to help you to really figure out the best candidate. This is
Already
the
done,
tagline.
right?
I mean, whether it's executed well or I don't know, but this is the marketing PR message saying that we are just this one of a kind job portal that could really figure out the best talent for you. We sort things
Yeah.
very quickly using our
Yeah, you're
system.
probably right. They're probably already doing what I was thinking. Like, I mean, just like some random thoughts about it. I guess most of the time, the idea that I have, I mean, that we think is brilliant, probably have been thought by someone else already. Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, you because you said that. Yeah, skills. Definitely, the focus is skills. Ideally, education is about skills. Just that it has diverged so much, and because you said that skills should reflect in productivity, I just feel that it's not because if it's reflect in productivity, everyone should be wealthier. Everyone should work less. Something like that. Yeah.
Well, actually, like we do work. I don't know whether we work less, but then we have more prosperity. That's for sure. Compared to last generation.
Yeah, definitely. The internet is just massive productivity amplifier. Uh,
Like I don't know how to measure that productivity. I guess it's like just think about gaming as an industry, like which used to be not productive. I guess it's like you spend it because you're not.
well,
I
it's
mean,
a big
it's a
debate. Like people say gaming wasted so many people's time.
but you see, like the whole world could afford to like watch game and make it into a sport,
Oh yeah,
winning
you're
like
right.
millions. That kind of shows that we have a lot of like things to waste.
At least we
Like
don't have to become farmers anymore.
yeah, and then like I know like luxury items, like those are indication that we have so much. Like just that maybe the wealth is not distributed like evenly or something like that. But I think that those are things that sort of like indicates
No, I
we have
think that
grown.
the picture is quite misleading, very one-sided. In some area, there is just a tremendous wealth. For example, the number of information. You can learn anything on YouTube. You can download so many books. You have so many free games, free songs on Spotify. All this related, internet-related industry, they're just tremendous
Mm,
wealth. But
mm,
I think on the other hand, in the world of atoms, how house is just getting more and more expensive. It's never cheaper. Transportation is just take you forever to travel one place to another because of traffic jam, those kind of things.
mm,
You have to buy cars, expensive cars. So those areas, I don't think, because a lot of people are still dreaming to have houses. That's
yeah.
the thing. Yeah. So
Mm,
as a result, most people have no choices. You can't buy house, can't buy cars. As a result, most people can only continue gaming in the basement because in your room because that is something free. It's something that is so cheap. You just continue play video games until you die.
yeah. But it shows
And
that you could afford to spend
no,
those
no,
time.
no, even the idea of having kids is not gonna be. It's not becoming cheaper. People always say healthcare costs is rising, this kind of thing. So I
Mm,
think a very gloomy picture at the end is just everyone just continue play video games until you die. You can't have kids, can't marry, can't buy house, this kind of things. Yeah, that
yeah,
is
because it's just too expensive.
a pessimistic view of the economy currently.
Yeah.
But truly, yes, the internet or anything regarding IT It's just so rich, so wealthy, so many things. But the problem is at the end of the day, we just don't need that much of Spotify songs. Probably we need only 100 songs. We don't need a million songs. We're not going to listen to all of them.
Yeah, I mean, but we could afford, right? So
Yeah. Even like the typical things about food is not getting cheaper. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
but that is partly because of inflation, I guess. Like
Maybe because of COVID. Yeah, I don't know.
because of inflation, so that's like expected. Um,
But just now at the beginning, you said that back then you were very motivated, influenced, or believed, or being deluded by the startup hype. Right?
yep.
Actually, suspect that it's not a hype. It's a trend that will stay. I have this fantasy that okay, humans started as a hunter gatherer, and then we transited to agricultural society,
Yep.
and then agriculture transited to industrial revolution, this kind of thing. So I believe at every point where the transition, right, they are always at the beginning it's always very slow. Like for example, hunter gatherers, like they would be very skeptical of the idea of staying at one place and plow the land and start farming. They would think that okay, the old way of scavenging the entire forest is the right way. So it might take quite a long time for majority to start to adopt that. Oh, okay, staying in one place and slowly farming and eat grains. That's a good idea. And later, uh, the agricultural society they are so used to become peasant in your own land, plowing 10 hours a day using your buffaloes. And then when industrial revolution first came, people are going to be skeptical of the idea of going inside factories and work with 1,000 other people and controlling I don't know what uh, the looming
Machinery.
clothes looming machine, those kind of things, or running a railroad, train, coal mining, for example. So I believe a lot of farmers probably going to be skeptical. You go to coal mining, how are you going to eat? Because all the way we make food is by farming directly. So it might take a while for people to be convinced. And now I feel that uh, it's a stage that people gonna need some time to be convinced that there will be a period. Uh, the new transition is that you no longer this is a bit speculative. You no longer directly apply to become an employee. You start a project. Okay, you start working on a project. It might be valuable, and then you get acquired by a big companies or small medium-sized company. So that is how you get a salary. The acquisition itself is a salary.
No, that's definitely like another. I think that's the one of the goal that many startup founder was trying to do, I guess, is to get
No, I
acquired.
think a lot of times when we stay or we say we want to become entrepreneur, we want to start a company, it might be too big the entire thing. Maybe what if we frame it as I will start my own project? It might
Yeah.
make some money, and then some companies will acquire me. And the moment I get acquired, that is the moment I get a paycheck.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of things, right? For example, when companies acquire your small project or small company, they will absorb your team. Because you are the people who know the entire system. You are going to become the employee right now. They're going to buy all your asset infrastructure and buy all your team. So that might be a new model. So I don't think startup is a hype. Maybe in short term, yes. In long run, it might be a new model of working.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why people who start own project and manage it is very valuable. Wait, zoom is ending in 1 minute.
Okay.